Welcome to Bodies in the Post, where I speak to art makers, product creators, scientists, and revolution makers who help us rethink what it is to be human in these post-human times. Here, we get to know the humans behind the creations and their inner worlds that form the basis of what drives them. I'm your host, Lydia Kay, a researcher in this field. Today's guest is Judassime, a multidisciplinary Belgian artist and performer who is best known for their incredible fashion designs, which are theatrical and otherworldly and draw from club kid culture and hyperfemme expression. Known for their extravagant corsetry and lacing, Judassim's designs are intricate and delicate, but they are not to be worn by the faint-hearted. Spikes, pleather, and a BDSM aesthetic is entangled with pink lace, satin, and feathers. Strength and confidence are prerequisites for wearing Judassim's garments. As well as dressing stars including Katy Perry, Judassime has dressed friends of this podcast, including Parma and Dahc, who are interviewed for Season 1 of Bodies in the Post. In this episode, Judassime talks about being rejected from the famous Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Antwerp, which is renowned for churning out top-class fashion designers. This rejection from the school became a key driving factor for Judassime setting up their own fashion brand and becoming a self-taught designer. We also discuss how freeing themselves from an addictive, abusive relationship helped them find themselves and solidify their identity. It was then that Judassime started using makeup as a mask and form of expression, finding confidence in the armour that fashion provides. We talk about post-gendered forms, about their performances with Dana Montana during lockdown, and being a model and muse for Sensen Lii's brand Windowsen. There's links in the show notes for you to see Judassim's designs and fashion shows, as well as links to other things we discuss in this episode. Welcome, Judassime, to Bodies in the Post. I'm so excited to have you here. I've been following your work for some time.
I'm excited to be here also.
You are an amazing fashion designer working in Antwerp.
Yes.
You're from Belgium, Brussels, right?
I'm born in Chicago, United States.
Okay.
And my parents are from Belgium, so I moved when I was 1 year old in Belgium. And I lived my whole life in Belgium, yes.
I see. And how long have you been living in Antwerp?
Now it has been approximately about 6 years.
And you started your would you call it a brand or a fashion label?
I think now it's becoming more of a brand, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that are in a brand. I'm a performer also on the side. I mean, I do fashion at the moment, but it can change at any point or any perspective. If I want to do art tomorrow, I'll do art. But I'm very focused on fashion at the moment.
Yeah. Your fashion designs really caught my eye because, as you know, I'm sort of very interested in post-human or otherworldly forms and figurations and how we adorn the body to achieve that look. And a lot of your designs, I think, is it okay to call them like club-couture?
For sure. I mean, my first collection was called Club-couture by Metal Magazine, which was a very weird name for me in the beginning. But then I was like, oh my God, it does fit because I come from the club scene and I was like a club kid back in the days. And I started my fashion brand on creating just my outfit to go to clubs. So that's how my first collection came up. Also, it was just me creating my outfits. And then I was like, oh, why not making a collection out of it? And then it all started by that. But now every collection is going to be very different because I talk about every emotion that I've been through every of my collection. So it can change from club couture to very classical couture it goes from one to the other.
Yeah, you're open to change.
Yeah.
And it does feel club couture sort of inspired in the sense that it looks like you're drawing from, or I wonder if your inspirations are, sort of the 80s club scene, also Thierry Mugler from the 1990s.
For sure.
Mugler had these kind of incredible insecty kind of forms and like very femme fatale, dominatrix style forms as well.
Yeah.
And I also kind of see a bit of the dystopian fetish sort of designs that Dermur at Balenciaga also delves into.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a fair comparison of these inspirations of yours.
Mostly like, I mean, my inspiration, how I started, it was very like McQueen, like in the days in the 2000s, and of course Thierry Mugler in the 90s. So it was very like this embodiment of like extreme women and extreme artistry that was very like, I was very drawn to. And there's always going to be this very masked or very BDSM look to it because there's a lot of pain in my design. I mean, my designs are mostly my way of going out of a trauma phase. So it's my atelier is like my psychologist for the moment.
What is your psychologist, sorry?
In my atelier where I work.
Your atelier.
Yeah. So where every time I feel sad or every time I feel very bad, I just go to work and I look through my pain with my design.
So your art is like your therapy.
Yeah, every collection has like, I mean, that's why also like every collection has like a name and every silhouette has a story because it goes through something that I've been through also.
Well, it's a really good way to exercise those traumatic events or demons. You know, a lot of people might turn to drugs or alcohol. I think if you can channel it into work or exercise, then you're doing okay.
Yeah. But also it's a good way of like making it like a package and making it a visual art for me and then putting it in the past. That's why also most of my designs or like my first collection, even I don't look at it anymore because it's like a little package that I put into it and all my emotions and then I put it in the past.
Amazing. So it's a way of kind of moving past it.
Yeah.
And dealing with it.
Mostly like my first collection is a very like it's something I cannot look at it anymore because that was the hardest, I think. Yeah.
Was your first collection the collection called Made of Meat?
Yeah, If We Were Made of Meat.
2021.
Yes.
So you feel like you can't look at it anymore because it reminds you of a bad time?
I still wear it to go to clubs sometimes, but there are some silhouettes I really cannot look at it because it comes from a very painful background and it was created in a very painful way also. But I don't look at it anymore, yes.
And that was kind of just coming out of lockdown, wasn't it, that collection?
It was, yeah. So it was created beginning of lockdown and then it ended coming out of lockdown, yeah.
So the collection, If We Were Made of Meat, it was kind of about the animal cruelty in fashion.
Yeah.
And imagining...
It was like if humans were the new meat of tomorrow.
If humans were the new meat of tomorrow. Is that something you're really focused on, the kind of the materials and the cruelty that is so prevalent in fashion?
For sure. I think so, yeah. I mean, the first collection, yes. And then it's always has been in my way of thinking. Now it's more natural. I just do it like that. But the first collection was very focused on that, yes.
And there was, in the first collection, am I right in thinking there was quite a lot of use of red paint, a bit like blood?
Yeah. So it was like bodies of my friends. I mean, one of the corset was an inspiration from Yves Klein, the performance where he took the women and he painted them blue. And then he used them as a brush for him to paint over canvases. And I took a body of one of my friends and I covered her of blood. And then I painted my corset with her body shape.
Wow, that's so cool. So was lockdown a particularly difficult time for you then?
It was actually the best time.
Oh, really?
I mean, yeah, I think the hardest time also gets you to the best time. So I think going through the lockdown for me and going through my first collection really created me as a person. So it was the hardest time, but also the most beautiful time for me. I had a good time during lockdown. I mean, looking back at it now, yes, but during it, I don't want to very remember it.
You don't want to repeat it.
Yeah, for sure.
Going back to the actual designs, there's kind of the way that you create and design your work. It looks so like expertly done. You make these corsets and you use, I'm guessing it's not leather, but sort of pleather or vegan leather in ways that look like high fashion couture. And I was reading that you have talked about getting turned down from the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Antwerp, which is kind of a very well-renowned fashion school that has churned out very famous fashion designers.
Yeah. I mean, I got turned down from a lot of school, even in Paris and in Antwerp. So most of the school that I wanted to go in refused me several times. So that's why I'm in Antwerp now, because I was going to live in Paris. Then I moved to Antwerp for the Fashion Academy of Antwerp. Never got in, but then Antwerp felt very comfortable for me to stay. And I just started here.
That perseverance is so impressive.
I feel like so many people would really struggle with kind of
Yeah.
bouncing back. And a lot of people, I think, would change direction after that. I feel like it's really cool and also a big kind of fuck you middle finger to the
Yes.
system that you're now creating these incredibly high-end designs, showing that you're a really, really skilled designer. How did you kind of work through that rejection at the time? Was it something that was very difficult?
That's how I thrive mostly, which is a very weird way of thriving, but I thrive on I would say like traumas and anger. And so when I get rejected, I get more powerful. So every time I get like this very bad energy from a side of someone rejecting me or something going on that is very bad, I channel that energy into my work. So I get more powerful every time. And I just focus on what I really want. And I know I'm going to do fashion. And I know I will, if I apply to a school, I know I want to do fashion. So even if that school doesn't want me, I will get to where I want to be. So that's how I crafted also my skills. It's just I focused on what did I want to learn at the moment. And the first collection was mostly corsetry and all of these shapes and textile manipulation. So I just focused that energy in that and I craft my skills in it.
And how did you learn to do corsetry?
We have a friend that also did like 3 years of corsetry in a very focused school. So it's like a school in Antwerp that learns corsetry, and she was doing that, and then she learned me little by little. So I learned from other people outside of school.
It's really inspiring. It also shows the power of, connections and friendships to teach each other things that you've learned from other places. I also think it's really inspiring, probably for some people listening who maybe also have experienced that rejection from art school or fashion school or anywhere they want to go. And you seem to have dealt with it in a way that's very, well, firstly, very cool. And secondly, looks, from what we see online and stuff, it just looks like you're a total natural at it. We don't see all of the hard work and dedication that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, but that's why like I always tell like when I have interns or stuff, the online work is very impressive sometimes, but the hard work behind is insane. That's why like a lot of people that got rejected don't go forward because fashion is such an insane world to even focus on. Like when you think about like a collection and you're alone doing it, it's such a hassle because there's so much things that you have to think about, from pattern making to sewing to all the skills that you have to go through to have an okay garment standing up, like fittings and all of this. Is very difficult to pull up everything as one person and learning all of that.
You also launched your first collection the day before the Royal Academy Fine Art Fashion Show.
Right.
Which,
yes.
again,
that was a big fuck you to the academy for sure.
A big fuck you. And also, the fact that you had designed this incredibly stunning and highly defined, skillful collection, you must have had to have confidence in that collection, because a lot of people might have got rejected and been like, well, I'm not going to be good enough and I can't make something that's going to be comparable. So did you decide that you were going to launch the collection the day before the Antwerp fashion show? Did you decide that like well in advance?
I mean, once I started the collection and I saw approximately when it was going to end, I saw that it was right in June when the Fashion Academy was going to do their show. So I was like, well, why not doing it? And on one of the biggest platforms on YouTube, also FF Channel, which is launching Dior's show and Chanel shows and stuff. So I just contacted them and I was like, can I do my show online with you? And it's just worked apparently, and I was very happy. And then the week after, I think they had like they always have a master exhibition in Antwerp, and I just showed up, and apparently it was more talking about me than the students. So for me, it was really like a yes, I made it kind of way.
Yeah. And when you say you just showed up, as in you showed up to the exhibition, the MA exhibition?
I showed up in full drag at the exhibition. And I just entered, and because I had some friend that was in master that year, which is still a really good friend of mine, and I just went to see him. But then all the teachers were there also, and the director of the school.
Was the person who interviewed you there?
Yes.
How was that for you?
They're still to this day very sour about me not getting. I mean, they know me very well in the school. They just don't talk to me, and they give me very side eye effects.
They probably feel pretty stupid, to be honest.
Yeah, because they called me a untalented designer and then I was not going to make it in fashion, and it was too theatrical the first day that I talked to them. So
They said you were not talented enough and that it was too theatrical.
Yeah, one of the teachers said that during my backup interview.
I feel like that's so mean, like unnecessarily cruel to do that to a young person who's really ambitious.
But also that was my first time trying to go into the school, and I believe I was 17 years old, and saying that to a 17 years old also, as a teacher, I was like, what is the point of doing that?
It's so cruel. Also, you're crushing someone you could change the whole course of their life
For sure.
by saying something like that. I mean, you obviously persevered and continued and are now hugely successful, but many
if
people...
another person hears that, they can just stop what they're doing.
It would crush so many people. I think that you've got to be gracious, and if you feel like that student isn't the right fit, you have to be still kind to them and encouraging them.
Yeah.
Do you feel like now, looking back, because lots of fashion schools and fashion academies can be quite rigid in the way that they teach, and they want you to tick lots of boxes and stick to the way that they want you to follow what they're teaching very closely?
Yeah, you have to be malleable for sure.
Yes, but do you think that maybe wouldn't have suited you?
Oh, but I think that's why I think like being rejected was a gift for me, because it was never meant to be me to be in that school, because I would have hated being there. Like when I look at how my friends that went through all these courses and stuff, and having all this like teacher telling them all of these things, I'm like, I would have just fight it all the time, because my designs would never be accepted. My way of thinking will never be accepted in this kind of school. So I think being rejected was a gift for me to just pursue it on my own.
A gift in disguise. Going back to that sort of rigidity of fashion schools, I spoke to Sade English, who was on season 1 of this podcast, and she talked about that same feeling of, I think she did her first year at LCF, she did her foundation, and then ended up leaving because she just was like, this is too strict and closed-minded for me. You're not letting me actually become experimental and creative, and like it can be a really kind of suffocating environment, basically.
I mean, those kind of schools, even as a point of view that I don't really like the school system, even in fashion or art, it's a yes or no. Or you roll with it and it goes very well for you, and you're like malleable and the teachers go with you and they make you experiment on the moment itself, or you just break down and it's not possible for you to go into school. It really is like a yes or no kind of situation with the Fashion Academy in Antwerp specifically also, I think.
And going back to, you said you turned up in drag, and it feels like drag is also kind of quite a key inspiration for your designs as well. And you have what you call on your Instagram the Judassime Warriors Army, which is your kind of muses that you dress, which includes model, archived vanity, performers Hungry, Salvia, Vampire Chinese, Crystal Versace, and also friends of the podcast who I interviewed for season 1, Dahc, Dermur, and Parma Ham.
Yes.
These are such icons in the sort of post-human arts movement. How excited were you to dress them?
I was insanely excited. So, like when I launched my first collection and all of these people reached out to me, I was over the moon, I think. I went to London after my first collection to work with Parma and Dahc for a music video that never came out, but it was an amazing experience for me to just finally meet the icons that I was following for so long online, and that actually made me believe that I could do that as a young kid in Belgium, and channeling that and dressing them now and being part of my army of people that are like in my archives. It was a very overwhelming experience for sure.
It's incredible. They're so aligned with your overall aesthetic.
And also as people, they're just amazing and sweet people. I can always count on them if I have to text someone, and it's just very mind-blowing to be part of this movement now.
Yeah, the ones that I've met out of that group are incredibly kind and generous with their time and generous with their love for everyone around them. And I think just super encouraging of people to just not stick in a box, like really chase your dreams and embrace your weird and wonderful side. I just feel like that's such a kind of key part of the movement as well, is to kind of dare to be different, go against the mainstream. And I feel like that's part of what you're doing as well. Is there anyone out there that you would love to dress? Like anyone, icons of yours?
I think, I mean, I have my eye on FKA Twigs for sure.
Yes, so singer and performer FKA Twigs, who's British, and she is super cool. She would very much align with what you're creating.
Yeah, she really inspires me from the beginning when she started her career. And also, she's not that far away from me dressing her. I mean, I know also one of her really good friend, Jordan Hemingway, which is one of my favorite videographer at the moment also, and photographer. That is also from London.
So she's within reach.
Yes. I mean, most of the people now, I really like, I'm mind blown by the amount of reach that I have now to the stars. I mean, there are some stars that are going to come out very soon that were my design, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, as a young designer, I'm like, okay, I don't even know why this is happening, but it's happening, and I'm very happy with that also.
Well, it's credit to you and your skill. I feel like your designs kind of speak for themselves, don't they? Going back to club couture and this, wearing drag or kind of embracing drag as part of a really important part of fashion. Tell me a bit about the club culture in Antwerp.
The club culture is before COVID, it was amazing. I was part of the Drag Me to Hell family, which was an underground, post-punk, also very like techno-ish.
What's it called again? The group?
Drag Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell. Okay, cool.
Yes.
And they're based in Antwerp.
Yes, it was a very good, it was like a family kind of thing. I was part of it for a long time. And then I didn't feel part of it because it went very commercial and I didn't feel comfortable with the group anymore. So I started to leave it. And now in Antwerp, it's kind of boring, the club scene, I might say.
Where do you go out?
A friend's house.
So there aren't clubs that you go to?
There is clubs. There are sometimes parties that are nice, but it's not very exciting. Like just the people are not open-minded enough in Antwerp, I think. And there is not enough daring people to go out with. It's very bland.
So it's quite square.
Yeah.
Would you ever think about moving to London?
That's my dream, for sure.
Because the club scene over here is popping off, and you could dress all of them.
Yes, but that's my dream from the beginning. But it's just with the Brexit and financially, I think London is very expensive also. And if I have to move, it's not just an apartment, it's my whole atelier, which I have to find another space also to work in. And I think London is very expensive also for the moment.
Yeah, that is a real shame about London. I think finding a studio space to work in is hugely expensive.
And also already creating is already very expensive. So if creating and living together, I looked at it, and in London, it's kind of impossible for me at the moment. But that would be a dream it has been a dream for many years.
Luckily, you're not too far from London, so you can pop over.
It's very close, for sure. I think in 2 hours with the train, you're in London.
That's really good. You could come for a night out.
Yes,
and then go home again. So did you go clubbing as a kid?
I started clubbing, I think, at 15 years old.
In Antwerp?
In Brussels, when I was still living in Brussels, yeah.
And was it kind of normie, mainstream kind of clubs?
For sure. That was the bad years. It was just a little gay boy going to club, not knowing what's going on at 15 years old with adults of 30 years old. Very being in this very basic scene, very toxic also scene.
I'm surprised it didn't put you off clubbing.
No, for sure, because every year I started to find new clubs and new scene and new people. So every time it was a new flame, a new spark coming in. But now again, I get tired of it because it just went bland again. But every time, I have a friend that also Dana Montana. She has a party, Love Groove. And she's actually a very inspiring person also.
Dana Montana?
Yes.
Is this the person that you do performances with?
Yes, I used to do a lot of... that's how also we started performing together online in 2021 also.
Can you tell me a bit about your performance work and how it started and where you see it going and what it is exactly?
It started with Dana, and it was really it was in lockdown, so everyone was home, and she's a DJ, so she was playing her sets and music, and she was asked to do some sets online and some podcasts. But she felt very bored of just recording herself at her house. So we just took a camera, took the set, and went dancing on the street and performing on the street all over Antwerp. So it started like that, just two friends having fun together. And then it escalated on stages and then in festivals And it's mostly just, I mean, when I perform, I don't have like a plan. So I go with the DJs and I try to get the crowd going and I just do my thing on stage. And also on the other side, I also perform sometimes solo. And then I do art installations and more storytelling, which would not be for a set, but like my own music genre that I would play also.
And can people find this on YouTube?
Those things are not recorded, no. Mostly the Dana Montana and me are on YouTube, yes. But the rest, my solo performances, have never been really recorded.
If anyone wants to have a look, I'll see what I can find online and I'll put it in the show notes so that people can see it. Because I know that your performances with Dana Montana got hundreds of thousands of views.
It got crazy. It got, for sure. Yeah.
So this is like a kind of side hustle or a side hobby of yours. Is it mostly dance?
It's mostly dance, yeah. And that's the thing that got the attention during COVID. It's just dance. It's two friends dancing together. That's why it's like the pure amount of love that we had towards each other that got so much view, because it was like, oh my God, people finally saw it again online. And it was during a period that everyone was at home, so...
And everyone wanted to be probably dancing with their friends.
Yes, so that was a very nice time to have.
How did you meet Dana?
During my first traumatic experience, she took me off with the spoon. I mean, she found me with like some friends and she took care of me during like the whole summer. And then little by little, we created that bond that's till this day is one of the best things that happened in my life.
Oh, that's amazing. And Dana helped you through like a really difficult time, basically.
Yeah, and that was also the part of my first collection also. So she just took care of me emotionally and physically.
Am I able to ask about that time, or is that something you'd rather not talk about?
Of course, no, now I worked through it, I think. I mean, not totally, but I did. I mean, that time it was mostly I got abused for a year and a half by my ex-boyfriend physically, and I had to get out of it. And that time it's when I met also Dana.
When you were exiting the relationship?
I was forced to exit. I mean, it was life or death at that moment.
Wow. How old were you at that point?
I was 18 years old.
Wow, young. And I mean, it's very difficult because that kind of thing can almost be like as strong as an addiction, can't it? Sort of staying with someone who's bad for you.
It is, that's why I got forced to leave that relationship, because it is an addiction. I was not going to leave until I was going to die, I think. It was really like, that's why I was very grateful. He fell in love with someone else. So that was like the point that I was like, okay, there's no point for me to stay. But the abusive relationship and the physical violence of a person, you just get addicted to it. It's like this adrenaline that you get loved and then you get down the hill very fast. And that unbalance and that difference of emotion gets you addicted to that person. And it's just impossible to leave it until there is actually something that really breaks you from going. So that was very special to experience, for sure.
Experience meeting Dana, you mean?
The experience of having this relationship.
So you feel like it was special?
It was that for me, yeah, because it was always like this thing in movies where you see this woman being abused and you're like, why is she not leaving? Like, if I would have a friend, I would be like, just like leave the relationship. But then experiencing it in real lifetime was like a wake-up call of like, it's not a choice that you're in there. It's purely not a choice. Like, everyone could tell you to leave and you know you have to leave, but you're not leaving because there's that addiction. It's worse than drugs. It's worse than everything. It's just like mentally and physically you've been drained out of your body and you're like addicted to this emotions and adrenaline.
Yeah.
And the pain also, you get addicted to everything that is linked to that person.
Also, that in itself, the ups and downs and like the kind of what probably started off as like drama and excitement probably very gradually went bad. So it's I think it's such a gradual thing, that kind of, have you heard of the boiling frog analogy?
No.
So basically, if you put, this is like apparently a true fact, if you put a frog into boiling water, it will immediately jump out because it's boiling water. But if you put a frog in normal temperature water and then slowly boil the water, the frog doesn't realize that it's boiling and it dies. And they relate that to abusive relationships in that it's so gradual that before you know it, you're dying and boiling.
you start little by little normalizing everything that is happening to you. You first get insulted, and then it started to get like a tiny bit violent, and then tiny bit more, and little by little you just normalize every step of that way, and before you know, you are at the end of the way.
I think also we kind of overlook the fact that you would have been in love with that person. And when people say, oh, you know, why don't they just leave? It's obviously mixed in with all of the drama and the ups and downs and the highs as well as the lows. But the bottom line is often people don't want to leave because they love that person. So it's not as simple as, oh, just walk away.
Yeah.
It's much more
And
complicated.
but also at the end, you don't even know if you love the person anymore. And I mean, at the end of that relationship, I didn't even know myself anymore. It was really like, I don't know if I feel anything. I don't know if I am anything. It's really like you lose yourself in a very deep way that I had to build myself back for 2 years after that.
Wow.
Which is an enormous amount of time. I was just like for 1 year, just totally lost. That's why that collection grew up from that. It was me rebuilding myself for myself, yeah. And meeting myself again. It was really crazy that I didn't even know who I was anymore. And that's how also most of, my makeup look started also from there. Judassime, after that relationship, really started. That's how my name was there for a long time, but that's how I started also my paint and all the makeups and going performing, and everything started after that thing.
And by paints, you mean the beautiful face makeup that you do, which is kind of
the white face.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of a bit like drawing from mime artistry.
Yeah, but that's like, for me, it was really like, that's how I say, like, it's just restarting myself from a blank canvas. I really wanted to, like, because I didn't know myself, I was like, I don't want to see myself in the mirror, so let's cover it up and create something that is beautiful for myself. So something that I would enjoy and look at it and say, yes, I want to be that person.
And you've got this kind of completely matte white paint face, and then you kind of add detail, line work to the eyes or the mouth, pinks and blacks and reds and beautiful kind of geometric shapes. Was that something that you just taught yourself over time?
Yeah, in the beginning it was more fairly, and then it went more creatures, and then every time it was changing to the feeling that I had. But yeah, I also looked online, like Dahc and Parma. That's why like those people are like inspiration for me.
Dahc and Parma.
Yeah, they really taught me also through this process. And the first time that I did whiteface, I was looking also at them. It was like a learning process also for me to go through.
Do you define it as kind of drag, or do you see it as something else?
Actually, I don't. I mean, drag is the term that everyone uses, but what I'm doing from the beginning, I don't think it's really drag. It's more of an extension of myself, which is not, I'm not trying to act up or something. I'm the same person when I'm with the makeup or not. And it's really like just an extension.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Also, you have a great canvas for it. Your face is very, you've done quite a bit of modeling work, haven't you? You've got like a very symmetrical face.
Yes, I was a model before that, yes, also.
Who were you modeling for?
I did some fashion weeks with Parma, Spain. I had quite a lot of work. I did Dior sunglasses.
Dior sunglasses, face close-ups. So who was that you said you modeled for?
Paloma, Spain.
Oh, Paloma, Spain. Oh my God, I love Paloma, Spain.
That was my first ever show, I think, when I was 16 or something in Paris. And that was great. Yeah, like a tiny bit of hair, and it was red. And I had like a full red satin outfit. And I believe it was their first show in Paris also. And that was amazing.
I love their designs so much.
Yes, me too.
So beautiful. And I really like, a lot of their collections are kind of really hyper femme. You know, there's sort of pink chiffon and feather boas and like lacy kind of lingerie. But often the designer chooses sort of quite mask models and, you know, hairy legs and very butch looking guys, which I think is really, it moves it away from drag in a big way.
I love the contrast. Yeah.
I love the contrast. Yeah. And I feel like it's really, for a lot of people, it's like quite discombobulating because you don't expect those kind of garments and colors and textures to be on a hairy male body.
Yeah.
And it shows who they're designing for as well. Like it's just, and I love that it's like these hyper femme garments are to be enjoyed by everyone or anyone. It doesn't need to be for women or female bodied people.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's like this very beautiful satin gown kind of dresses that is transformed into a suit and put on a hairy male, which is like this, just like this flowing line of like, it comes from a very fluid person to a very masculine. I love what they're doing.
Yeah, and it looks really like it totally works.
It totally works. Everything makes sense.
Everything
And
makes
it's,
sense. Yeah.
yeah.
It's so
For sure.
cool.
If you're enjoying this episode, please subscribe or press the follow button to get the new episodes. And take a second to like, rate, and review the podcast because it helps other people find it. You could also share this episode with someone who you think would enjoy it.
Did Paloma Spain kind of inspire some of your designs in any way?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, no, it was a beautiful experience at the time, but I love the way they are channeling the energy of masculinity and femininity in their design, but they didn't really influence anything of my work. No.
It's very different to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very different textures, but I wondered if the idea, because you do have quite a lot of hyper femme or femme fatale kind of styles and
Yeah.
very pointed shoulders, these very kind of laced corsets. Am I right in thinking you design for any gender expression or any gender identity?
Yes. I mean, mostly I don't design for a gender or anything. Like if you can, I mean, you don't see it from there, but my drawings are drawn on aliens mostly. It's like little
cool.
figures.
Can you show me?
Yeah, of course. Wait, there.
Judassime is just getting a piece of paper from the back of their studio to show me that they're drawing.
So it's like this very like there's no proportion whatsoever. It's just like a little.
Oh, I love that's so cool. So how would I explain that to the listeners?
It's. I mean, that's also. Oh, that's from the new collection coming soon. So.
Oh, that's a new collection.
Yeah.
So the body itself, it's like a pencil and paper design, but the body looks kind of not in a human form. It's got like lumpy arms and big hands and a sort of square face.
Yeah, and like this insect hands.
The shape of the skirt is almost like a bit female genitalia.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of like cutouts and like relacing up and eyelets
and sort of frills coming out. That's so cool. Why do you choose to do it on sort of alien bodies?
I just didn't feel like putting it on anybody. I just wanted to create really like a figure that was something that I felt comfortable designing on. I don't design for people. I design for like an energy mostly or like an attitude. So that's why like these aliens have like the attitude that I want them to have. They're really like just posing and being. That's why like if Mugler also is very like the insects collection.
The Mugler.
It's that that's the kind of energy I like in a person, and I don't per se see a gender in that. That's why when I choose my models or when I choose like people working for me, I look at the energy of a person. I'm going to meet the person. I'm going to see how they stand, how they present themselves. And that's what's going to make a big impact on if I'm going to choose them or not.
And what are you looking for? Is it strength?
Confidence. Mm-hmm. Because when you have that confidence of like experimenting a lot of things, because most of the models, they show me their portfolio and I'm just like, okay, but I want someone that is going to experiment and not being fearful of making a pose that is going to make them look ugly in a way. So I want like a model that really like experiments a lot, I think.
Pushes themselves outside those boundaries of what is beautiful.
Yeah, and live also in the garment itself, because most of the model, they just model what they know in every garment that they're going to wear. But I want someone to enter a garment and enter the universe of the garment, so that it's going to act up like the garment that they're wearing.
I see, yeah. And that's Mugler's designs. Now, even though obviously he's passed away now, and who's taken over Mugler?
Cadwallader.
So I think they're doing a great job of it still now, in that their models, they have to have like this real strength and attitude, and they have to walk in a way, like you say, they have to wear the dress. The dress can't wear them.
Yeah.
And I mean, his collections from the 90s and that insect collection you're talking about, but the others as well, that the Robotica sort of Metropolis inspired collection, and also often they, like I keep saying femme fatale, but I don't know if there's a better way of describing it, but just sort of almost, evil but in a sexy way women who are kind of strutting and walking with these really powerful silhouettes.
Yeah.
I totally see how that is something that
it's like
you need for your
confidence,
designs.
strength. It's a bit scary for some people, but it's very like, a lot of confidence and strength.
It's super sexy though. I think confidence.
Yes. I mean, that's the hottest thing on earth. Like when you're confident and you can really like feel yourself to the most and present yourself with that attitude. For me, it's like, I'm just like looking at it like it's a show. I love it.
Yeah. Also, it makes you want to be them. And the closest thing you can get potentially is to get the garment.
Yeah.
To try and emulate them. And also we kind of think, well, what they're wearing is probably part of the confidence. So it's a really good way of selling the clothes.
That's why the new designer at Mugler now is doing a great job, because I don't think the collections are varying that much anymore, because it's a lot of like the same kind of designs and lycra and spiral and cutout, but the models are wearing it in such an amazing way that it's every time it sells it, because it's so beautiful how they just present it, that it just sells the show. And that's how Mugler keeps on going like that. It's the same kind of energy that the model had in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
But with the new modern way of making those garments.
Yeah, you're right. It is totally all about the like the show, the spectacle of the catwalk and how they walk, how they flick their hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an eye candy of a show.
Eye candy.
It's very like, it's very like, oh my God, what is going on? Instead of looking at the design, you're more like, oh, wow, I love this.
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, going back to some of the people that you dress that we've talked about already, when you design clothes for a muse or anyone, so say someone just put in an order for a garment, do you go about kind of getting their exact measurements? Is everything made to measure?
If it's asked for, yes, but that differs a lot of the pricing also. I had some couture orders and I love doing it because it's really like you get to know the client, you talk about it, and then they choose one of the silhouettes of the collection mostly that are like close to what they want, and then they make changements on the moment, which is an amazing experience to have also with your clients. But made on measurements, of course, it's going to be a bit more expensive. I mean, there's way much more work. Also, you have to remake a toile and fit it on the body again and then make changements. It's not just a piece that already exists that you cut out again and then make it for.
And is that kind of what quite a lot of your client base is people getting couture made to measure?
Not at all. I don't have a lot of couture clients at the moment. I had like one or two in the past year, but it's very rare. I mean, also my brand is just growing now, so it's very rare for me to get that. But I have some, so there's like couture order, custom order also is something possible. So it's not couture, but it's like a garment. Like for example, Crystal Versace, she took a garment and she just wanted it to be longer. So that's more custom. It's not couture, but it's a custom order.
Yeah, I see. And you've got bags and accessories and stuff as well now that people can get.
Yeah.
And do you still do sort of fashion shows, or are they more kind of limited editions or capsule collections?
I mean, now we're working on the next collection, which is going to be a fashion show. So that's going to be an exciting one. It's my first ever fashion show.
Amazing. Will it be in Antwerp?
No. I wanted to do it in or London or Paris.
Nice, do it in London. I'd love to come.
Yes. Yeah, we have an option for London. I mean, we got contacted by the Council of Fashion in London, and they asked us to do a show in London, but then there's also Paris. I really don't know, because Paris, mediatic-wise, the Fashion Week of Paris is very, like, mediatic, and London is more where I want to go, so there's, like, a big doubt about that. But there's going to be a show for sure.
Oh my God, exciting. Are your family very supportive of your career?
They are extremely supportive, yes. In the beginning, it was weird for them to get into the world of Judassime because, of course, I mean, we come from a small town next to Brussels, so for them it's like a bing, boom, what the fuck is going on kind of thing. And I was just like, I just threw them in their face what's going on. But now they're extremely supportive. Like little by little, when they got to know the persona and where I was going to, and then they saw that there's actually a public audience for that also. And they also, for them, it was easier to accept that when they saw that it was also making money, it's something that actually is a work and that people actually put money in it. So for them it was okay, it's extreme for us, but there's an audience for that. So
And as long as you can live, like that's what parents want, isn't it? They want you to be able to
for
like,
sure.
provide for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, like to this day, my dad is like one of the most helpful person. Also, like, and in my work, sometimes he just comes to cut fabric,
Oh,
or
that's so sweet.
yeah, like he's on his phone calls with his work, and he comes to cut fabric. I just lay the patterns around, and he cuts fabric. He's like almost like a experienced sewer at this point.
Wow.
After several,
He's one of your atelier
Yes.
assistants.
Yeah, after several years, he got to know a lot of techniques, so he's actually good at it now.
That's so cool. Also, what a great way to bond, to do things like that together.
Yeah, because I didn't have a lot of bonding with my dad when I was young, so little by little we bonded over something that he didn't even know he was gonna like. Like he didn't care about fashion at all. So I started it, and he was like, "Okay, let me help my son." He didn't know what he was gonna get into, and then little by little he was making rivets on corsets. And
Rivets
then,
on corsets. I love that.
And then lacing, like for example, like in my couture collection, the look tied up, the pink and red lacing look
Oh, yeah, it's stunning.
that Salvia wore, he laced all of that up.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
then there's hundreds of meters of lacing on that, and he got to get to know the technique of fan lacing, which is a 40s technique. And then he looked up videos, and then he did it by himself, and then we did it together, which is insane.
That's so incredible.
Yeah.
I'll link it in the show notes as well, but it's the lacing that you would get in traditional corsets, let's say. You made the lace one of the key features of the whole look, not just the corset.
Yeah.
And the red lace fans out over this pink sort of silk.
It creates like a pattern over the pink satin, yeah. I mean, when I got to know about this technique, the fan lacing technique, which is the gromets that are like connected to the center of the corset or other gromets, and they're creating a pattern with the lacing and the contrast of the colors. And for me, it was an explosion of that. I got to know that technique, and I was so obsessed with it that I had to explore it. And that look is one of my favorite look ever made, I think.
It's so cool. It's almost kind of like an abstraction of a corset or a deconstruction of a corset, because
Yeah.
the lace ties kind of cover the body, they cover the face. You've got like a headpiece. They're kind of trailing all behind as well.
And everything is corseted from the skirt, because normally you don't corset a skirt and you don't put bonding in a skirt. There's corset from the neck to the arms to the body to the skirt. Everything is a corset. It's a full deconstructed corset over a full body. Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Is it really hard to get in and out of?
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Part of the pleasure, though, of dressing.
Yeah, when I had to dress Salvia for the concert that she did with Jasmine Bean, I had to be there to dress her, because with also all the lacings and all the meters of stuff that are just hanging from there, it's difficult to just find yourself in that outfit for sure. But once you're in, it's good.
Once you're in, it's good, yeah. You just can't ever need a wee. You can't need the loo. Just don't drink any liquids.
No, just stay in it, be beautiful and strut. It's easy to walk in though, because there's a very big slit in the front, but to move too much from side to side, not really.
And what was that experience like working with Salvia for that?
She's the angel, the sweetest. It was amazing also, like, to just her, like, coming to me and really, like, connect with me also. I mean, we saw also each other during Paris Fashion Week. She walked the show of Windowsen, and it's just a pleasure every time to see her around. And she was also working for me for the ready-to-wear campaign, and she turned it out. I was gooped and gagged when I saw the picture. I mean, I always can count on her if I need something from her, and she can count on me also.
I love the way that there's a real network of people who are in this movement, this post-human art movement. I see people helping each other out in so many ways and celebrating
It's
each other's
incredible.
work.
Yeah, I think it's truly incredible, because the Ready to Wear campaign, I just reached out to all these people, and they were just delighted to just go for it, and without asking too much question, and just, okay, you did a Ready to Wear collection, just send it to me out, and we'll make pictures. And I just send one mood board and approximately what they had to do, and they just do it like that. And the Ready to Wear campaign was really like a special thing, because I created the cast of the Ready to Wear campaign in the way of, like, I choose very different people and very much like people that I got to know on the internet, and I contacted them knowing that they were going to do a great work. So they all had the same assignment with the same mood board. And it's the first time that I let free of being a director. So I just send them the outfits that they had to wear and like how they had to wear it. Or no, for example, Saudi had to wear it a bit differently, which I love. And they just shot it on their own mostly. So no photographer, no director, and just them.
A lot of them are performers as well, aren't they? So they probably know how to use their body, what poses,
Yeah.
they know what looks good in a camera, they know how to wear, and they've got that
I knew
confidence.
it was gonna look. Yeah, I knew it was gonna look good anyway because it's people that I was like, it's impossible for them to fail this kind of assignment because they have been doing that for so many years. Like, it's gonna be great. Like, is she hungry or yeah?
Yes. Oh my God. So performer Hungry on Instagram called Is She Hungry? The designs that you made for them are just incredible. And they're perfect as well for your designs because they've got that really insecty kind of look.
And that's why like the goal of that campaign was to really like have every time a new vision of the creations because the ready to wear was quite a simpler Judassime looks. So it was not my most exciting project for myself because I like to go very extreme. But I took a cast that made it look very extreme also. So that was very exciting.
Yeah, the model cast is so cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned as well modeling for Windowsen. The designer is Sensen Lii.
Yes.
And they create sort of really, again, drawing from Club Kid style, but really kind of monstrous, grotesque, and like
mechanical couture.
Mechanical couture. I love that. Like oversized, really, really oversized garments, oversized shoes.
Yeah.
Lots of color, lots of texture, lots of faux fur and leather and pleather. Mm-hmm. And they do huge shows, and they select really carefully the models for the show, the muses. And you modeled in that show alongside Parma Ham and Salvia as well.
Yes.
How was it? What was the atmosphere like?
I mean, it's a very good friend of mine since beginning. So we started working together when he was at school in Antwerp. Okay. So he was in the Royal Academy of Antwerp. And I was his first muse on his third-year bachelor collection. And the whole collection was made around me. So I modeled the whole collection, and then my face was printed on it. And it was like a whole thing that we bonded on. And during a year, we worked together on that. And then since then, we were friends. And it's just an amazing experience every time to see him do his thing, because he failed at school, and again, a failure that became star. And that was very beautiful to see. And every time I go to see him, and his new collections are every time show-stopping. So
absolutely show-stopping.
And the cast is always amazing also. He really takes care of everything, and he's an amazing person for sure.
It looks really fun to be involved in. Everyone looks like they're having
so
loads
much
of fun.
Most of the time there's no repetition, there's no rehearsal. It's really like, there's some rehearsal like to just do the catwalk, but it's just do you. And that's what's so much fun about it. It's like really like everyone is like casting for their personality, and it's you do you and go for the runway. And it's in Paris Fashion Week, which is very big, and he just doesn't care about that. And that's what I love about him also.
When you say he failed at school, he got into the Fashion Academy at Antwerp. Did he complete that degree?
No.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He did his third-year bachelor, and on that third year, the school was horrible for him also. There's a lot of drama that happened.
Well, I was going to say, because they said, you said that part of the reason they rejected you was because your designs were too like out there or theatrical. Yeah. And I was thinking, Windowsen, they're incredibly theatrical, and it just seems like hypocritical.
But he,
of them, not him.
For sure. And they were trying to, for sure, change a tiny bit of him, because he arrived at school with like these gowns of 500 meters of tulle and stuff. And they were like, the director was trying to lower him down a tiny bit and also like change him, which never stopped. And also he was getting famous while being at school, which also impacted his years at school, I think. And the teacher really didn't like that, because they were kind of sour about it, because the director was at the time Walter van Berendonck.
Yes, so Walter, I'm going to butcher it in my English accent, Berendonck, was part of the Antwerp 6 which was
Yes, he was part of
a group of designers who came out of the Fashion Academy in Antwerp, known for being really unusual and alternative, I would say.
Yes, for sure.
So you'd think that that's what they would encourage. So Dahc was director of Windowsen.
Yes, he was his teacher also.
I can kind of see how that would work, but Windowsen was getting kind of dampened down.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting very, like, he got asked a lot of, like, Nicki Minaj and stuff while he was at school. The teacher didn't really like it because he was starting to not go to school anymore while...
Dressing stars.
Yeah, he was more focusing on himself and not really coming at school anymore. And then at the end of the year, some of his silhouettes got stolen before the jury.
They got stolen by...
So his work got stolen by some students during the night before his jury.
Oh, shit. Before the show?
Before the jury. So the jury is like the moment that the teachers are standing in front of like the collection and giving comments and points.
Oh, I see.
And some of his design got stolen the night before that because the students were just hating on
That's
the
so
person.
awful. So they were fully designed looks that got stolen.
Yeah, I helped him putting it out at school. And then the day after when we came back, one of his silhouettes, so one of the full design look was totally gone.
That's
Which
awful.
made him fail also because it was like, oh, one look is missing. Where is that? So that got the points also down and just everything got turned against him in that school, I think.
I feel like you could start a new group of, instead of the Antwerp 6, like the anti-Antwerp.
The rejected six.
The people who left or didn't get in or got rejected or basically wanted to move away from it.
Yeah, because also like when I was working with him and he was at school still, he was like, Benjamin, please don't go in that school. It was, I mean, for him, it was really terrible at school. Getting hate threats and getting hated for being an amazing designer is terrible for him.
Also, you'd think they'd want them to have success.
Yeah, but when you get too much success, then you're not part of it.
People get jealous.
Yeah, and students get horrible towards you. I mean, getting hatred to not come at school anymore. Otherwise, they would ruin your work. It's insane to me.
It's awful. It's so malicious. It's also the opposite of what we were just talking about with, Dahc, Dermur and Parma ham, and you were saying Salvia as well. All of these people that you're in touch with and all of your other muses who are just so supportive, kind, encouraging, like they champion you, they celebrate you. That kind of kindness and generosity just, I think, is a part of success. I think that even if you're earning loads of money and you're top of your game, I think if you're a horrible person, you're not successful.
Not at all, no. I think that's why he also he quit it, because he needed a support system. And when you're like that talented and everyone is just
Out to get
being
you.
horrible to you, yeah. And that's also the part of the fashion game. People are going to be nice until they get what they want and then they leave. And that's why it's nice for us as designers to get like this support system, as you said also.
Because you identify as non-binary, do you feel like that's an important part of your design work as well?
It's for sure a process of my everyday life, so it impacts everything that I'm doing. But I don't really think about all the pronouns, the subject, and all my... I mean, I struggle through it for sure, like all the binary issue that we have on an everyday basis. But I don't really look at it. I'm so focused on so many things that...
You've tried to sort of move away from it.
Yeah, I don't think about it at all. For me, it's really a subject that it's so natural for me to be who I am that I don't want to really like label myself but if I have to label myself, yes, non-binary.
Mm-hmm. And I was just wondering if that was something that kind of was a journey through the art as well, or if it had kind of been something you always knew that you felt non-binary.
I mean, for me, it was something I always knew, but then someday a term came on it and I had to label it. But it's so natural that I just go through it, I guess.
And the reason I was asking if it kind of connects with your designs is I think it creates a fluidity of expression.
Yeah.
That I think can manifest in designs that are, I think beyond that. I think as a designer, it probably helps you to transcend those binaries because you yourself don't feel restricted by them. So you can create designs that transcend that notion of binaries or cross around, or also even being able to access like more masculine and more feminine, and also nowhere in between or everywhere in between.
But that's why like everything mixed up at a certain point. Like I don't see a that's why also my little aliens. There is no everything just mix it up and everything just correlate together. And I don't see a dress on a woman, for example. I don't see a pant on a man. So everything just
And also your creations are quite like, is the word futuristic the right, would you say they're futuristic?
avant-garde, futuristic. Yeah.
There's something quite futuristic about them, or they overlap with, again, these post-human muses that you're looking at, I think do often create imagery that is sort of ideas of the future or ideas of future bodies. Do you imagine the future body? Because we've already seen I've seen your alien design that you use as a kind of base to put your designs on. When you think about like ideas of future bodies, do you prefer them to be just genderless? Do you think that's a kind of the highest form of a future body that we could reach?
Yes, but I still love a female and a male body as a designer. Like there's a differentiation when I, like for example, when I design a full like the tied up look and I wore it on the lookbook shoot.
The tied up look being the lace one.
The laced up, yeah. So I wore it on the lookbook shoot, and then I made it wear two female representing person, and then with all the curves and all the body shape of a woman, for me it was amazing also to see like the difference. But I love as a designer also like gender. I mean, I am obsessed with a woman's body, for example. Like just a figure, it's like this statuesque body that is amazing to design on. So as a designer perspective, I love to design on a
biological female body.
Yes. But for a perspective of humans and as a being, I think it would be amazing to have a genderless body in the future, yes. There's, of course, like the idea of the society gendering every piece of clothing that we're wearing to this day. But fashion is so much more about the way you wear it, the attitude you give it. I mean, everything is changing.
It's so individual as well.
It's very individual, yeah. I mean, a jacket, that's why like a jacket, when it's worn by when I see it, different people wear it, the jacket is almost changing the design. Like the design almost changes when another person...
It's like a whole different jacket.
Yeah, which is crazy because it's the same jacket, but suddenly it seems like there's another jacket on someone else.
That's so cool. That's like the ideal designer.
Yeah.
Designing for individuals instead of the masses.
Yeah, but it's very difficult. I mean, yeah, that's couture.
Yeah.
But
but more, even if it's not made to measure, the kind of the idea, like you say, the essence or the energy of a person, they change the design through their own energy.
But that's how I design also mostly. I design from mostly an energy. So when I'm going to start having an idea of design of a garment, like my assistants and my interns know it, I'm going to stand in the room and model the garment without the garment being alive. So the garment doesn't exist, but I'm going to start modeling the garment and look at myself in the mirror to design the garment in my head.
That's so cool. That's such a great process.
There is like this idea of energy and manifesting the garment to be around my body and to see where it could hit and where it could be cut or how it could be modeled. And that energy, I transform it again in a drawing after.
That's a really cool process.
I leave a garment that doesn't exist. And that's how I start most of my designs. Yeah.
But through your energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I design it.
Do they like come to you in your dreams? The design ideas.
Some of them do. And then in the morning, I'm like, oh my God.
They've got that vibe about them that they're sort of like surreal, dreamlike.
Yeah, but mostly like if it comes in your dream, create it. Like I talked with some of the designer and they always tell me, if it comes in your dream, it's a garment, you have to create it. Because most of the garments are not going to come in your dreams, but the ones that are coming in your dreams, please create it. Apparently, it's a very good sign.
It's like a good omen.
Yeah, but most of the time I see them as I say, like energy. So I see them in front of my eyes without being there. I draw virtually in front of my eyes.
Well, I've kept you a long time already, but Judassime, thank you so much for coming on Bodies in the Post to chat with me. It's such an inspiration talking to you, hearing about
Thank you so much.
Your journey and like really kind of going against the system and being so dedicated in your design work. I just think you're such an inspiration. I feel like a lot of people listening are going to be really inspired by you.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope, people are getting inspired. And if you get stopped on your way, please never stop what you're doing. If you're a creative purpose, you all have something to say and something to do in this.
Great advice. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bodies in the Post. If you enjoyed the show, please like, follow, subscribe, and share with a friend. You can also find the podcast on Instagram at Bodies in the Post and on TikTok at Bodies in the Post Podcast.